It's still too early. I mean, I think it's almost noon now, but coming off 2 long work days, I was like, I'm sleeping in. And then I remembered the Blazers and Sixers game was a 1 o'clock start today. 1 o'clock start in Philly, which means 10 a.m. start in Portland. We've had 9 a.m. games before, when we play on the East Coast, because it's noon there, and it's just an early start for them there. But so I missed the first quarter, but got up. I started watching with like a minute left in the first quarter, and the third quarter's going right now, and Mo Harkless has gone absolutely crazy. I don't know why Stotts took him out. We should have rode him till almost the end of the quarter because he's playing out of his mind. And we're up by 18. My biggest concern is we go into one of those we scored 28 points in the first 6.5 minutes. That's some offensive efficiency, and a lot of that was Philly not playing defense. Mo went off. He got a lot of shots. But here we are. There's the new hero in town. Oh, God damn it. But here we go. So it's 89-71 with 3.5 minutes. We got a few bench players in to rest our starters. My concern now is we're going to end up going on one of those this is my biggest gripe with the Blazers, is they can't seem to play a complete game. And we tend to get very chillaxed. Ben Simmons is just out of control right now. We get a little too chillaxed when we get a big lead and we start just kind of throwing up threes and getting, a little too relaxed, a little too cocky. And then, we cool off because we're not getting the same, offensive efficiency. Wait, come on. Enes, take him. Enes! Shit. And then we start letting another team back in, and then we have to start kind of fighting. Wide open, man. Then we have to kind of start fighting our way back offensively, and we end up having these long scoring droughts where we lose leads or we let teams get away from us, and that is our biggest deficiency, and that's been a deficiency for a while. Oh, but Dame's like, shut your mouth, Steve. So now it's back to a 19-point lead, and here. Ooh, ah! All right, come on, don't let Simmons go. Good D. All right, so you gotta love it when you're getting them McNuggets by the end of the third quarter. 100-82. Well, if we lose this game now, we straight up suck. All right, well, this just happened. So I love how. Okay, so essentially what happened, Ben Simmons, who's probably angry, his team's not playing good, he went to the basket. He bumped into Kanter from behind and kind of knocked him forward, and it looked like incidental contact at first. But when you see it from a side view where you can actually see behind Kanter, you can see that he sticks his shoulder into him. Not that big of a deal, but enough to where it pissed Kanter off, and Kanter started walking after him. So Kanter and Mike Scott get teed up. Mike Scott, who's probably just trying to separate people, and somehow Ben Simmons, who started the whole frickin' thing, doesn't get teed up because he got a tech earlier. Him and Nurkic were, jibber-jabbering with each other. So I love how Ben Simmons absolutely should have been teed up there, but he didn't because he's Ben Simmons, apparently. Anyway, 9 minutes ago, we're up by 20. Now it's really unacceptable for us to choke this game, especially since Philly does not. I mean, look at that! They just let CJ get a rebound. Even though we didn't score, they let CJ get a rebound with like 3 of their players in there. Screw you, Jimmy Butler. Good. Anyway, so yeah, here's hoping we hold on. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's still so early in the day, I don't even have a shirt on yet. It's like me trying to cover my body because it's so offensive. I don't know what to say. This has been really impressive. Not just that we're on the road, not just that we're really pounding Philadelphia, which again, going into
the big three, the Philadelphia, Boston, Toronto's, three of our next 4 games. I said I'd be happy if we came away 1-2. But if we win this one and we're down to about 5 minutes to go and we're up by 20, 22 now, something like that, we're maintaining, which we seldom do. There's always one point where we just kind of fall off. Just in time for the rain. So, unexpected victory, especially an early morning game on the East Coast, even when they interviewed Mo at the end, which I was like, you gotta interview Mo at the end because he was the one that got us that big push when we needed it to boost, you know, what was like a 4 or 5 point lead to like a 15-point lead. And he was asked, do you like these morning games? He was like, no. I could share that sentiment. I remember youth league basketball, our games were always at like 10, 11 in the morning, which I mean is fine when you're 12, 13, 14 years old. But when you're an NBA player playing a ruckus schedule, it's not that great. So 2-0 to start a 7-game road trip. I was thinking, you know, I'll be happy if we go 3-4 on this trip. And there were definitely 3 games that we could definitely win. Brooklyn was kind of up in the air to me. Cleveland we should win. Memphis we should win. But yeah, I was like, it's going to be tough with Philly, Boston, and Toronto so close to each other. But here we are, 1-0 on that 3-game stretch. And I give us a shot against Boston. Boston is still they're kind of like Philly. They just can't find, I feel like they're finding their consistency maybe a little bit better, but I don't know. I mean, last year, again, you know, it took a buzzer beater from Horford for them to beat us, and they were a lot more steady last year. So I think it really just depends which teams show up for that game. And then Toronto, that's just going to be tough. We don't play great in Toronto anyway. And something else I wanted to point out, not that this is going to be the recipe for you know, Blazer games here on out, or this is going to be able to consistently happen. I mean, 71-point second half. But it was pointed out, you know, Dame and CJ have been a little shaky the last couple of games. They haven't been awful, but they've been a little shaky on their shots. You know, they'll clang 3 or 4 real bad, and then they'll bang a really tough one. That sounds sexual. But yeah, they pointed out tonight, 130-115 was the final score of the game. Philly hit a couple of threes late to make it look a little bit more respectable. But 130 points, which 132 is our best, I think our season high, which is interesting. I've been to only 3 games this year. I say only, like everybody can go whatever they want. But I went to a game against New Orleans earlier this year. We beat the Pelicans 132-119. And then at the last minute, I was able to go to the Utah game a couple weeks ago, where we beat them, I think it was 132-105. So our matching season high scores of 132 are 2 of the 3 games I went to. I'm getting real lucky going to Blazer games. Me and my girlfriend went to 6 Blazer games last year. We won 5 of them. The last Blazer game I'd gone to before I started going all the time with my girlfriend last year was Brandon Roy's career high game against Phoenix in like 2009. But anyway, enough looking back. What I'm getting at is we scored 130 points. I keep wanting to say tonight. This early afternoon, morning into early afternoon. Dame and CJ combined for 32 points. That means 98 points in this game today were scored by players other than Dame and CJ, you know? And everyone was on, you know? And even like Jake played a solid game, but he only had 8 points. It wasn't like he blew up. But Nurk had, I think, 24. Kanter had 16. Curry had probably around 8. I mean, everybody was clicking and just playing really well. And, you know, it showed. And it showed on the road against a really good team. You know, kind of trying to figure out their identity as much as the Sixers are. But, I mean, we came out there and, you know, I don't even think... Did Dame even play in the fourth quarter? I don't even know if Dame played in the fourth quarter. He might have. You know, and I'm thinking of the Golden State game just a few games back. And pretty much almost, I think Dame was the only starter that even played in the fourth quarter. And we ran away with it. But obviously that third quarter, we outscored Philly 41-26, 15-point difference, and then we won by 15, so it was a real difference maker. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if this team can maintain this level of confidence, I mean, this is a big confidence booster. Obviously, you don't want to go into your next game lagging, because I think Cleveland's our next game. So you don't want to, get a big one in Philly and Brooklyn and then drop one against the Cavs, which, yeah, Kevin Love's back, but we're still a lot better than them. And one of the things I'm wondering is, what's the Tristan Thompson situation like right now with Cleveland? Because I noticed the first game Cleveland had back after the All-Star break, Tristan Thompson didn't even play. And of course, one of the big news stories going around the country is Kylie Jenner's dumb moron buddy is apparently fooling around with him. So, it wasn't enough for Tristan Thompson to cheat on a Kardashian once. He just had to keep doing it. I'm sure there's been more. But I noticed he didn't play in their last game. So I'm assuming he's either found a reason or he's been excused from the team to deal with some personal issues, quote unquote. So now Cleveland's our next game, and I'm wondering what the Tristan Thompson situation is going to be like, if he's going to even be playing. That would be... I know my girlfriend would definitely be interested in seeing how that situation works out. But I'm guessing... Now, I don't know, he might be injured or something. Or, I don't know. But I'm wondering if there, is a correlation between the fact that first game back from the All-Star break, he doesn't even play, and then all this drama begins to unfold. But anyway, we now have 23 games left in the season. We're playing pretty good. Utah almost clipped OKC the other night. They had a really crazy double overtime game. And we would have moved within game and a half, 2 games of OKC. Again, it's going to be real hard to catch them. They've been really on this year after a really bad start. But, you still kind of keep your hopes alive a little bit that we might catch them. And, Denver is going to be tough to catch. Don't think Golden State's really a possibility, but I don't really know. I mean, what if we come out of this road trip 5-2? It was our last 25 games, I think 16 on the road and 9 at home, but you get these 7 out of the way, all of a sudden we have 9 at home, 9 on the road. It's evened out. And what if we come away 5-2 on this road trip? With how we're playing, I think that's absolutely possible. So we were 34-23. So we would be 39-25 coming out of this long break. I think that's entirely possible. And then it's 9 at home and 9 on the road. All of a sudden, the road issue, which that was one of the main reasons I only had us going 15-10 to finish the season, was so many road games. And the thing is, after this stretch, I mean, granted, we have Cleveland, but we have Atlanta on the road. I think we have, there's a couple of road games against teams that we really are considerably better than and should be able to beat. It's going to be tough. We have a back-to-back against Denver to finish the season. I'm hoping we can at least split that one, but things are looking up. 2-0 out of the All-Star break. Just totally on the way to another 13-game winning streak to start after the All-Star break ends. But, I mean, everybody was all weary about the Blazers. What are they going to do? They didn't have enough money. They didn't make enough moves this year. And we made a couple, but even before we made a couple of moves, I mean, look at us now. We're 36-23. Even my optimistic ass didn't think we were going to be doing this well. So, who knows? Getting that elusive 50 wins is seeming a lot more possible to me right now. So we'll see. Cleveland's up next in a couple of days, and we should win that one. I'm going to be pissed if we don't show up. Blazers have a history of not showing up great against mediocre teams. And calling Cleveland mediocre is kind of a compliment right now. I even think their fans would agree with that. So anyway, that's it. 130-115. Blazers beat. To my surprise, I really didn't know what was going to happen. Beat the Philadelphia 76ers on their home floor. That makes for the 2 games against the Sixers this year, 2 blowout wins. Very surprising. And we're doing it again without Dame and CJ putting up crazy numbers, but everybody doing what they need to do to make the offense work and click, and that's the most important thing. So, we'll see, guys. I'm really, really excited to see how this season's gonna conclude, much more than I was even a couple weeks ago. So, we'll see. And I, of course, will be keeping you guys up to speed on all that. And until next time, Steve, and I'll catch you later.